The Diamond Regional School Committee for May 17, 2023. Need a roll call?
Mr. Jennings,
Here.
Mr. DiBiaseu,
Here.
Mr. Beegan,
Here.
Ms. Menard,
Here.
Father J,
Here.
Dr. Nara,
Yes. Right, we have a quorum. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lena, is anybody online with? Anybody recording online?
let me just check. Today.
No, okay. All right, need approval for the April 12th, 2030. Second, need a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next, I'm gonna actually pick the skills USA.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, recently the school committee has voted to send 3 different groups off to conferences, and they have been most successful. My pleasure to have before the committee tonight members representing the Business Professionals of America, BPA, the DECA organization, and members of Skills USA organization, who have a few things that they want to say to you before they run on to the National Honor Society, which is happening tonight, where they're going to be inducted. These students are outstanding in their field. So who's going to be up? We'll do it alphabetically. BPA. You step forward. I think we have a spokesman there.
Yes, I would be.
Why don't you state your name and what's going on?
Yep. Hello, good evening. My name is Lila Tebow. I'm a junior in programming and web, and I'm also the president of Diamond's Business Professionals of America chapter. I'm joined here today by Lily Carnero, Joey Ferreira, Amy Santos, and Luke One, who are my fellow BPA competitors. This March, we were able to compete at the BPA State Conference, which we left with 15 finalists and earned 27 medals. This April, those 15 finalists had the opportunity of attending the BPA National Leadership Conference in Anaheim, California. At the conference, we left with 6 competition finalists, and even those who did not move forward in their competitions left with a valuable experience. Being able to compete and network with other students at the national level was an amazing experience that we are all looking forward to having again. The BPA experience as a whole pushed many of us out of our comfort zones and allowed us to grow both as students and as individuals. Next year, we will be competing again at the BPA State Leadership Conference and potentially the 2024 National Leadership Conference in Chicago. We would not be able to participate in these events without your support, and on behalf of all of the members of Diamond's BPA chapter, I would like to extend our gratitude to you for your continued support. And at this point, we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I do want to point out to this committee that this was their first year ever of the BPA as a club here in Diamond Regional, and we are most proud of them for their accomplishments of what they've done. Fantastic. So much. Thank you.
I know
So
we
next
have
up,
to move it along because I know you guys have to be.
next up is the DECA organization, Distributed Education of America. And DECA is here tonight wearing their club blazers.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Inez Medeiros, and I'm currently a junior in the graphic communication shop.
I'm Ethan McKenna. I'm a senior in metal fab.
I'm Ariana Chase. I'm a sophomore in culinary arts, and I'm Ruby Gar. On behalf of DECA's 85 members this year, we would like to thank you, our school committee, for your continued support of our organization. We've had an incredible experience competing in our district competition, state competition, and attending our ICDC conference. At the ICDC conference that was held in Orlando, Florida, we had the opportunity to engage in meetings and events with students from all 50 states and even different countries. As a thank you from our Diamond DECA chapter, we would like to give you these DECA t-shirts.
Wow.
Okay. We'll get to it.
See the graphic.
Any questions?
Great, no, thank you. And
Great, congratulations. And we have our Skills USA organization here with a large representation. Ladies and gentlemen, please come to the center there facing our school committee members. And I think you have a spokesperson here also. Is it yourself,
Yes.
Emma? You may begin.
Good evening. My name is Emma Shaker. I'm a junior in the medical assisting program here at Diamond. I serve as the state historian on Skills USA in Massachusetts State Executive Council. Let's take a moment for introductions.
I'm Amani Silver. I'm a junior in culinary arts.
Benjamin Terrell, advanced manufacturing.
Isaac Weaver, Advanced Manufacturing. Michael Moser, Advanced Manufacturing.
On behalf of the entire student body at Diamond Regional Vocational Technical High School, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Diamond School Committee for their support and continuous commitment by making funds available to allow students who are fortunate enough to participate in Skills USA state and national competitions. As you know, having this opportunity is not only additive, but synergistic to the overall growth and development for our students. The experience that students are exposed to during the competition goes far beyond what is taught in their shop and co-op. This experience provides opportunities to learn how to network, build confidence, learn best practices, exposure to safe competition, and then fortunate enough, return home with a medal. Whatever the outcome, they all return home as winners. I am happy to report Diamond was very successful, competing in the recent state competition held in Marlborough, Massachusetts last month. Diamond won 38 medals. 17 of them were gold, which secures them a spot to compete in the national competition being held in Atlanta, Georgia next month. Additionally, I am very humbled to report that with the help from my Skills USA advisor, Mr. Jonathan Root, Mr. Mitch Sweet, Mrs. Ann Zenny, and Ms. Sue Raposo, and the Diamond delegates, I was reelected for a second term to represent Diamond and Skills USA Massachusetts as a state officer. I am proud to stand before this committee on behalf of the entire Diamond student body to simply say thank you for your continued support. Any questions?
Emma, you take after your mother.
Absolutely not.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, we're so proud of you for what you've done. We're going to be so proud of you when you go out to nationals and once again, kind of just show the rest of the United States what Diamond can do on the state of Massachusetts. And we wish you nothing but good luck and continued good luck and success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, committee members.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Good night.
That was a nice touch, whoever organized that.
That was really,
Very good.
that's my thing.
Kind of squeeze it in there, but we got it.
They should thank you.
I typically wear, a medium just to accent on my six pack, but I'll accept this. You know what I'm talking about, ain't you?
Right after those.
Still in 10-12.
All right, moving on to 1.4, the election of the school committee officers. We need a nomination for chair.
I nominate Mr. Paul Jennings.
I second that profoundly.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, thank you again for your support. We need a nomination for vice chair. Anybody for vice chair?
I'll nominate Mr. DiBiaseo. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then we have the treasurer. Next is the treasurer, Joe Brilliant. Need a nomination. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Assistant treasurer.
Jeff Egan.
Got a motion for Jeff Egan, need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And secretary, Lena Neves.
Nobody speaking.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. You're all set. As far as the subcommittees, I'm gonna make some changes to these. I'll get in touch with the committee members and I'll get in touch with you, Alina, and just notify you if any changes.
Okay.
All right? Next, 1.5, we have the student report.
So Ryan Davidson regrets that he was not able to make it, but I'll read his report quickly. Spring sports are going well. Baseball and softball teams are doing well with the transition over to the Swansea YMCA for practices. Many students attended our Diamond Community Wellness Day. The girls' track and field team won the Mayflower Conference and had an undefeated season. Many of those students will be competing at the state track meet. We just heard from our state competition winners for Skills USA and DPA. And then finally, students are very excited for upcoming class trips and prom. Prom will be at the Newport Marriott this year. As far as class trips go, juniors are going to Six Flags, sophomores are going to Canopy Lake Park, and freshmen are going to Waterways. All students are, of course, eligible for that. They need to be eligible, which Mike Zajac is running point on, making sure kids are abiding by the dress code and serving any detentions or Saturday schools in order to go.
Very good, thank you. Do we have anybody sign on for a citizen?
We do not.
Next, 2.1, you have the MSBA, SBC.
Relative to the contract, there is just only one more issue. It's all of this negotiation of a percentage between the Suffolk and what they're willing to do. We have them down, we're trying to get them, all the contract provisions are all done and ready to go. We're in good shape, but we are trying to just squeeze them for a little bit more money. That's all it's coming down to. We've already gone to level of authority. Now it has to go to fish. So that's where we're at, but everything's in order, we're in good shape. Insurance has been all squared away. Everything's resolved, it's just a
Think
signature.
for the June meeting.
We should, yeah, I thought we were gonna have to do it today, but I just don't think they got back to us yet. That's all it is.
All right, we already went over 2.1, the student presentation. Yeah. 3.1C, personnel. We have some appointments.
Yes, we do. This is for everybody's information. We do have appointments of those teachers who have.
Did we skip
B.
MSBA?
Oh, yes, that's 3.1B.
Oh, B.
I'm sorry,
Just, I can address it.
Yep.
Right now, there's nothing to report. There is a MSBA committee meeting next Monday night at 5:30. But there's nothing to update at this time. The design is still going on and the schedule is still being refined. And we should have a lot more information between Monday and our next school committee meeting.
All right, any questions, comments on the MSP? Okay, moving on to, C, personnel.
Actually, sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
What do we?
Under M.
Oh, okay, yes, but that's my error.
Have some expenditures, 900 grand. That's a small.
Yeah, that's my bar tab in Vegas.
Jesus. We have a price on that, Yes, it is right here.
187,500.
Yes. So, Mr. Chairman, the MSBA bill committee update under the payment of feasibility schematic design bid, recommendation is to allow the treasurer to pay $187,500 of the principal pay down to debit obligation as well as the interest and fees for the second payment of $750,000 bond anticipator note for the school feasibility access and efficiency funds. So has to do with paying bond. This is the $187,500 principal has to be paid down along with the $750.
Mr. Kitchen is online.
Okay,
If
does he
you-
have anything to add to that, or?
This is the second payment of 4, so we've spread them equally out over 4 years, so it'll be 187.5 plus whatever the interest and sale fees would be, but it takes place every year in June for the next 2 years.
Motion made.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there anything else?
That was it. Everything else will be covered on Monday night.
There are
Oh,
expenditures.
there's more bills.
Oh, we have the Suffolk bill and the, yes.
Yes, there are.
Colliers, they all have bills, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yes,
Mr.
they're
Casey.
all-
Like, they all have bills.
Yep.
Colliers, has
I'll
Bruce, and
present
some.
them one at a time. Get them. So, Mr. Kitchen, I believe we're looking at Colliers. You have highlighted amount due $73,549.32, Mr. Chairman. That's what Collier's bill would be for this,
For the
for,
month of March.
yeah, 331.
There's an April bill in there. Mr. Kitchen.
April bill is 96,883.46.
You're gonna take, we have to vote on this separately.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm looking for amount due for this bill is $73,549.32.
Okay, I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then under invoice number 8.2451. The Collier's bill, which was dated 4/30/2023. Amount due for this bill is $96,883.46.
I have a motion. I need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I got Castle Blues coming up next, Chairman. So the total invoice, invoice number 20006.01-10, dated April 28, 2023. I have a total invoice for, up to April 28th, invoice total of $1,287,000.
A motion, need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Then we have one here for something.
Mr. Kitchen, the other one here that's dated March 31st, we have a second one for Castle Blues.
That's correct. Number 9.
Yeah, there's two. So this one is invoice number 20006.01-9, dated March 31st, 2023, for $1,287,000.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I have Suffolk, the contractor, total bill, invoice number 004, dated 5/31/23, has a current payment due of $75,000.
A motion, need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I apologize, I didn't turn the page.
So on those two that we just approved for Castle Blues, I thought they were one of the same because they were exactly the same amount.
Different
numbers.
Just different numbers.
different numbers.
Is that a monthly payment
It's a
or?
monthly payment, we last
Yes.
month, we had a meeting, so we.
It's not biannual.
Option buy.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's where I confused it on my part came when I saw the same exact.
You're not alone in that saying. Not alone saying that.
All right, any other comments or
And
questions?
those get submitted in the MSBA and the reimbursement back to Mr. Pitcher for the project.
Okay. I'll say, thank you. See personnel. Finally gonna get that.
Yes, and that is quite a few here, but this is the time of the year where we also have appointments coming up. Appointments of teachers that have just come on board with us, but we also have those who are being renewed going forward with 1-year appointments, 2-year appointments, 3rd-year professional status. And you have a list before you on the appointments, you can see them there. Among those there are, as you see, the tutors, the Bengal Bash, which is our summer program, a new instructor down at the LPN, Stephanie Berry, a summer school instructor, and a business technology long-term substitute due to on maternity leave. That's for your information. Number 2, though, the advisory appointment, this action on the part of the committee, and Eden McLaughlin, electronics program as a student. This Eden McLaughlin is currently a student in the electronics program. She would like to be an active board member to contribute knowledge and input as a student. Recommendation is to appoint Ms. Eden McLaughlin.
Need a motion? Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. Number 3, you see reappointments. This says completed 1 year. The number is in there, say must have completed 120 days. That's a contractual number that a teacher who is appointed is supposed in the months of September, October, November. They still have to total out to at least 120 teaching days in order to be given credit for a year of service. And these people have done it there that you see. Next is a 1 year on waiver. These particular students were hired these teachers were hired this year. They don't have full licensing, so they have to go to the Department of Education through us for waivers. The time that they have on a waiver does not count towards their actual professional teacher status time. So they will not get that until they get their license. Then the clock starts ticking towards professional status, otherwise known in the old days as tenure. Okay, and that's what that is. Right there. You can see the students. They're all these students, the teachers. They're all brand new. Next, completed 2 years. We have the instructors that are there, and they are going to continue. We also have teachers who have completed 2 years, but they either are on still an emergency for their 2nd year or the emergency license. Again, that time does not count towards status. We have 2.
Question. Do they have so much time after they're hired to get their professional status? 2 years.
2 years.
So these two would have to
But
get
they have to complete the requirements unless it's something very unusual within the first 2 years that they're teaching to become fully licensed as a vocational instructor. If not, then, and at any time, anybody on a waiver can be terminated. But they're making progress. The Department of Ed asks us to say what progress are they making. They're taking their classes, they're taking their written exam, they're taking their hands-on exam. They're doing everything. It's just that they haven't completed the very last class. And the classes got canceled due to COVID, the classes get moved around, but they're working hard on these. So these are the good people right here. The next one is someone who's actually been here for 4 years, but she has only had 2 years on a license. So here's an example of someone who 2 years on a waiver, got her license, and now she's working with us right now. She will have professional status, but not until next year. Professional status, we have the teachers who have successfully taught at least 3 years here at Diamond, successfully being brought into their 4th year. They are now considered professionally status or tenured. No action needed. Again, retirements, no action needed, except for some congratulations. Mr. Michael Barrowby has submitted his letter of intent to retire effective October of 2023. He's a teacher in our Buildings and Grounds program. We do have some anticipated vacancies, which are being advertised already: an LPN instructor, a special education teacher, and a paraprofessional. Those are anticipated. The next page, though, I'll be deferring to Mr.
We're gonna hold on D until we go to executive session. Then we'll come back out. They're on the email. We'll vote on it.
And that is all on appointments for personnel.
Great, thank you. Next 3.1 other matters, acceptance of gifts.
Yes, in your packet there, right after this page, there's notification from Track Machine Tools. And Track Machine Tools program as recipients of 2 track machines. The value of these machines is $109,712. They have donated goes to the school. And it is because of the work that our department head, Kurt Schweenard, in particular, does with track. They singled us out as an exemplary school, and they need to reward the school in some way, shape, or form. And the best way they can do that is to donate these machines. And again, $109,000, almost 110. So the recommendation is to accept the donation made by Track Machine Tools with a combined value of $109,712.
Motion made.
Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nick, one question, yes, on that one there. Are we gonna wait until the building's open before we get these, or?
The easiest way to say that is that we have the machines that are coming in. We're holding it off as long as possible because to make the move over to the new building, we don't want to install and then uninstall and reinstall. Okay, we're going to make the most efficient move possible at the time that we get.
So that's what I was going to kind of.
They have a number of machines that are gonna get moved anyways.
Yeah,
So.
but it'd be nice to install on one side.
Yeah.
That's what hope, you keep them in balance and that, so yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Mr. Kitchen has,
Just to Mr. Jennings' question, the advanced manufacturing and dental have the skills capital grants, which expire in June of 2024. So the equipment has to be purchased and installed prior to that date for us to get reimbursement on the grants. The $5 million grant goes for another year, so therefore we'll have the larger equipment coming in hopefully further on when the foundation and the lower levels been built out.
Okay, so we do have to purchase them and put them in.
We do.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Paul. We also have a second one, donation that's from Roger Williams, chapter of International Association of Electrical Inspectors, has donated a toolkit for a student that may be in need. Nice donation to up to a $500 value, and they have asked the instructors to identify a student who may need this toolkit. The recommendation is to accept this and that the instructors will identify a student in need for the toolkit.
Need a motion on that?
Motion.
Need a second? All in favor?
Thank you, and I'm sure the student will.
And 1F, student travel request.
Yes, Skills USA was just here. They've completed their state conference. They have qualifiers up to 34 people traveling out of state to be held in Atlanta, Georgia for the national competition. This is a request to approve student travel as presented for them for the national competition.
Need a motion?
Motion
Need
made.
a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? G, use of facility.
Yes, on the use of facilities, we've been contacted by the MAVA organization, Extended Campus Program, that they may use one classroom here for their summer semester. Of course, it starts on May 25th, it ends July 6th. However, I do know the instructor, and it is only 2 actual physical utilizations of the classroom. All the others are online, but they do need a physical location to start the program, introduce themselves to the student expectations, and then close the program out. So the recommendation is to approve the request of MAVA Extended Campus Program for our classroom use for this summer semester, again, with the dates that are indicated, and to waive all the use of all the facility fees.
Need a motion?
Motion made.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? H, we have the school calendar.
Yes, the school calendar is there, has been approved, set up by the principal, Mr. Rebello. It has been approved by the Diamond Teachers Association, and it is there for your review to come up. Obviously, we know that dates change due to various things that happen, but the state a pretty standard format. So the recommendation is to approve the 23-24 school calendar as submitted.
Need a motion? Need a second? Second.
There are no
All in favor?
surprises. I want to let you know there are no surprises on that. Okay.
I see it's a little earlier than this year, huh? The last day? We're actually on the 14th of June. Second?
I'm sorry, are you looking for the very last day?
Very last day, yeah.
Okay, and on,
That's 2024.
that's the 24 graduation. Yes, again, it falls within the time frame of what we have to do. The graduation is on the 8th. So with dates being as they are the sixth, so within striking range.
Right. I see.
We,
that
we
this
can't
year-
go any earlier before, we cannot go before a certain date anyways.
Right, well, that gives us the 180 days.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I was looking at this year, the way it was set up. You actually have June 19th off, and you gotta come back for half a day.
Unfortunately, that superintendent had to call a snow day because everybody else had to call snow days. And I talked to him about that, but he couldn't get around it. And yeah, it was unfortunate that we had one. Yeah, I was looking to see, can we get around it somehow? Maybe we would fall below the bare minimum. So we cannot say, let's just end it on the 16th and call it a year. We can't do that. We gotta give it.
That was a lucky year.
You get a pastor's day.
So school committee though, I do need, and you just approved.
Yeah, yeah. All right, 3.1 on the matters, we have the student handbook.
We do have the student handbook here and student for your review. We do have Mr. Zajac, who is our assistant principal of student affairs here to answer any questions. And Mr. Zajac, I'll turn that over to you.
Thank you. Combining things, the first year was combining things and we instituted this year, it has had a significant impact on student traffic. That's
That was you, Mr. Zajac. You were just getting some feedback.
Sorry, I'm sorry. The clause from the committee. So that was added based upon the students are licensed. You get a parking permit. So.
Like that, like that back in the.
Any questions or comments?
No. Very good.
All right, need a motion to approve the handbook. Need a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye, opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A lot of hard work that was done by that committee. Thank you, Mike, very much.
Any of that happened with our policy?
When you. We've also said about. that,
Yes.
but If you're. You can find out if you have a question on it, look at it, you as a committee would then say, we have a question on this, we don't agree with it, all we want to do. We can get returned back to this.
Chairman, the only suggestion I would make, Mike, is there's no changes to those. Obviously, it's a good change. If you have changes in the future, can you just get it to later to put it with the policy subcommittee prior to the approving it, so they can just review it and bring it to the full committee like we just did just now, to so we can just review it on any new policy. If we have any questions about it, we can ask you prior to this.
Of course. We don't really.
Yeah, just that, and the reason
In the
I
future, I would do that, definitely.
did say policies, yeah, that's why. I
Oh,
actually-
oh, oh.
Policy slash practice.
I apologize.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right, when I saw that word policy, that's what I. Sorry about that.
No, taking what the committee has said to heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Highlight, I think, something like this, you can get well ahead of time, knowing that this is the only change that's coming down. And you can take it up as you need to take it up, right?
I will definitely forward that to you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Quickly, we kept in the Saturday school on the first offense with a cell phone, huh?
Excuse me?
We kept Saturday school in for the first offense on a cell phone.
What was returned?
I saw that, I saw that they return it at the end of the day, but Saturday school.
Well, I think you have.
Oh,
400 miles an hour in earbuds are.
And there's some districts where they.
They do it all day long.
long.
They do it all day long.
Yeah.
All day
Yeah.
long. And then the police department's getting calls at 3:05.
You're correct.
Very unique in its enforcement of the cell phone policy, and the kids know it. The students know this, so when they walk in, they're told the expectation, they adhere to the expectation, it's upheld. The compliance rate is high, very high, of not having cell phones out during the day, that's what I can say. It's a good compliance.
If we look at the code. At about a 25% reduction in.
That's good. That's good. So they're learning to go into the business world or the working world, and that's one of the biggest problems the employers have is today. Your employees on their phones.
And that's what's so.
Harrington, we're here, getting you ready for the workforce.
Mr. Harrison, you ready for the workforce, and Mr. Remiseo is getting you ready for life.
He did. I know he did. I love it.
I'm gonna head upstairs, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, Jay, the student improvement. plan.
Yes, the student improvement plan was put together again by the principal and the staff that we have highlighted what it is. It would be what everyone's worthwhile to go through it, looking at if any changes are coming down. They have focused on, again, 3 areas. You see that on page number 3. So student well-being, academic and vocational excellence, informed, empower, engage stakeholders. That theme is running throughout the school group, and it's a good read. A lot of work was put into it, and the implementation has been set up for the timeline. So the recommendation is to, on review, is to approve it as submitted.
Need a motion? Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, spring advisory.
So the spring advisory reports is in your packet. It is a huge packet right here. All of them are there. This is for your reading and to go through it. I would ask you that if you have the opportunity to go through it, any concerns, questions that you do have, to please bring it back. We will get to the person to answer your question. There's way too many things in here for me to go through everything one by one. But there is quite a bit in there. If anything jumps out to you right now, I'd be happy to answer, but if not, so I take a little bit.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
The DTA, MOA,
Hold until after executive session, please.
Brilliant.
3.1, M, monthly financial report. Is Mr. Kitchen still on?
Yes.
The monthly financials are pretty straightforward, as throughout the whole year. The money remaining in our accounts are primarily in the salary and benefits lines. So those will be expended. And there is one negative, which is in the heating of the building. That's due to a encumbrance of 110,000, which will probably would be liquidated and will spend about 50,000 of that. So we'll have some available funds to transfer if necessary, or we'll have it in our carryover.
Any questions or comments from
Yeah,
Mr. Kitchen?
Mr. Kitchen, everything looks good for the end of the school year?
Yeah, we started, as you're aware, we started doing some purchasing on some of the equipment or needs in the building on the vocational side and in the academic with math in February. So we'll just get ready to do what we need to do for the summer break and keep moving forward.
Staying with Mr. Kitchen and expenditure approvals.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, there was a revision to the agenda.
And you want to take that up now? Or do you want?
Yeah, that's fine. We did a bid on a piece of equipment for the welders that we had transferred funds in the last meeting, and just asking to approve the vendor as the lowest responsible and responsive bidder, which is they're out of East Freetown.
$37,797.07.
Yes.
Yes.
It's in the
So I need
packets.
a motion.
Make that motion, Mr.
Need
Chairman.
a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, all set on that one, Mr. Kitchen.
All right, and then on the expenditures, the top of the project expenditures that we've already voted on. The other items are equipment or services that are needed this year. So Voc-Tech is looking for a tire changer. They're also looking for a software diagnostic for the related room. And then there's a zero radius on the grounds. We did ask to purchase a deck for the tractor that we have, but it hasn't come in yet. So we just want to keep ahead of the grounds a little bit. There's a class trip. Then in the Perkins grant, there's items for collision, which is a welder. And then for carpentry, it's a dovetail machine. And also for carpentry is a saw stops that have the soft stop feature, so the blade can stop if needed. And then there's another skills. The skills for Mr. Sweet, what we do is we cut a check to him, and then he goes out and gets the Visa cards for the participants to do their per diem meal allowance. So that check, he and Mr. Root will secure the number of Visa cards for each kid, and we found it easier than giving out cash. And then the travel itself for the nationals.
Mr. Kitchen, was that like the 61,240? Was that in the budget, or did you have to move something into?
No, they have about 100. I think we budget $140,000 for skills, which would take up all of their competitions. It's going to be close to that for this year, though.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve.
Motion made.
Need a second? Second. Favor? Aye. Opposed? Mr. Kitchen, near transfers.
The transfers are from, they're primarily from all the vocational shops. They're looking at some of the balances in their accounts, and they're transferring it into primarily supplies so that they'll have items on hand for freshman exploratory when they start the year.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Need a recommendation to approve the transfer. Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Kitchen.
Thank you. Is it okay to sign off?
Yep, you're all set.
Bye, Paul.
Take care, Paul.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
You too.
LPN program. You have an update?
Yes, so on that, I'm going to defer, Ms. Guillen, you are online, correct?
I am, I'm here.
Laurie.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes. So
Okay,
Update and second is the handbook. So Laurie, on the update first.
okay, on the update, we currently have 31 accepted into the full-time day program. One student is awaiting references, one readmit, we're awaiting her plan. We have in the part-time program, we have 13 accepted students, 2 awaiting references. Of them, 23 are in district, 20 of the 31 paid seat fee in full-time day already, and 10 of the 13 paid the seat fee in part-time day. We have a TEAS test tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we have 18 students scheduled for it. 11 already have applications in. For our other dates, we already have a total of 18 students scheduled for those dates as well. The interviews I'm getting done after the TEAS are done. Anybody that passes, I'm doing them pretty much in that week and accepting students in the same week, as long as they get their references back to me. We continue for recruitment efforts. We continue with one more info session on May 30th. I still have Facebook up and running and putting things on there. We also have our paid advertising on Channel 10. That's going very well with a lot of views. Word of mouth from past graduates seems to be the best advertisement so far. We get a lot of students due to that. And I'm right on target with reaching, I wanted to get 40 and 20, and I don't see a problem actually reaching that. I think I'm going to exceed and probably be more like 50 and 25. So that's where I want to be. I'm very happy with what's been coming in. So I keep pushing forward. One thing I want to mention is we have our graduation on June 23rd at 6 p.m. and all of the school committee is definitely invited. We'd love to see you there. And we have a job fair that's being held on May 31st at Duval Street. It's for the Diman LPN and the Bristol Plymouth LPN students. And it's going to be 1 to 3. 1 to 2 is for our students, and then 2 to 3, we're opening it up to the public to come see our place and also come to a job fair, anybody that's in the healthcare field. So we're going to get some exposure with that as well.
What date is that?
The job fair is May 31st.
Okay. June 23rd.
June 23rd for the graduation, correct?
And that's here, correct, Larry?
Yes, that's at Diamond.
All right,
Good
any,
job.
question or comments on the update?
Update, nothing. Good job, Lori.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the student handbook.
The student handbook is also in your packet there. Laurie, I'll let you take the handbook also, please.
Sure. Student handbook, there was nothing major updated in the handbook. The only thing that was updated is names, titles, year. That's about it. Nothing new as far as any policies or anything in there.
Any questions or comments on the handbook?
Lori, I reviewed it as well. I didn't see anything jumping out at me either, and I was hoping you would, in case I missed something.
Nope.
I didn't miss.
Nope.
So the recommendation is to approve the 23-24 student handbook as presented.
Yeah, motion made, motion, is a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The only thing is, Laurie, you use the word policy again. I just want to.
We'll do the same thing. Prior, if you were listening in, Laurie, the committee is requesting that if there are any changes going forward.
I did listen in that you wanted to go to the subcommittee first prior to coming to the school committee. I will do that. I didn't have any changes in anything, but if I do, I will be sure to make sure it goes to the subcommittee before it goes to the whole committee.
Thank you.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
House building subcommittee. Yeah.
So Mrs. Torres is not here. She's down at the meeting at the auditorium right now. As you see in front of you, there's a lot of projects that will be beginning next year, and some are completed. The project that they started over at the cemetery in Westport, plumbing will be done in the fall. They didn't have enough with the plumbing inspectors with the state to get that done this year. Everything else you see on the list here. And I've asked Mrs. Torres to keep the committee updated with any new requests that come in, so we can review them as well with the application. As far as the house building, unfortunately this time we don't have anything in concrete. It's still working for People Incorporated. We'll know at the June meeting if we're going to go with People Incorporated. We also have, as you see in front of you, a gentleman from Fall River who's asking for a 2-stall garage to be built. If we don't get any new home at least in this scenario, the students will be able to build a garage and the electrician shop will be able to do some work in there as well. But we tabled this until June, so because we've got to build a house, but if we can't get it, then we're going to consider Mr. Elliott at that time.
Any questions, comments on the project? Moving on to our policy subcommittee, Mr. DiBiase.
Mr. Chairman, we had a policy subcommittee prior to this meeting, as you see in front of you. We have two policies. The first policy is policy procedures for accusations against a staff member. As Mr. Bentley had indicated to us, and Father Jay Mello had been part of that committee. He initiated it so we can get something in writing. And after many, many meetings, they've come up with this as a policy to set forth in case a accusation or an incident occurs, so they'd have something to follow the guidelines of in the future.
Any questions or comments on the policies?
Both policies were recommended by the policy.
Both policies were.
The second one was just a house flipping, with a catch-all statement that.
Yep.
So I apologize. Yes.
That's okay. It's within the pretext of the.
If you look at the last, on the second one, it's the same policy, except we're giving us some leeway if we decide we want to build something for a contractor. For example, the committee reserves the right to waive any provision set forth in the policy as they deem necessary and beneficial to the school. So they met, Ray met with Greg, and this was the easiest way to do it than go through all the policies. Exactly. This helps us out.
And both policies were recommended by the policy. So.
Okay, recommendation to approve the policy, that's.
Motion made.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We just make one. I know the allegations policy was going to be followed up by professional development.
Yes.
We can just include in that professional development that a change was also made to the handbook to address some of their other concerns. The student handbook. Sure. About false allegations.
Sure. It is not part of the student handbook, as you said. Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
3.1S, sick bank subcommittee, Dr. Neri.
An individual had requested access to the sick bank, a proper documentation from their medical provider. We deemed it usual, reasonable, customary. So it is the recommendation of
Two of them, Dr. You took on two.
both. I apologize.
There were two.
In which both cases.
We don't have a second. We just have one individual.
Yes, there was a second one that was brought up, I believe. It was a Monica.
Monica Camara.
Jessica Tavares, both those matters were brought up tonight. One was taken just for the record. It was brought in on an emergency basis, so this is being done based on the fact that it was not reasonably anticipated within the 48-hour posting period. That was Monica Camara, because it was an emergency based on her medical condition. So both of those were taken up by the sick bank subcommittee, and both were, I believe, unanimously approved. Correct.
I have the union is behind both of these
They
requests.
signed off on both. There was a third one that the board did not feel was an emergency in nature, did not address it tonight because we did not feel it was emergency in nature, so we put that on for the June meeting.
Okay, recommendation to accept these two.
Okay.
Need a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, you have, in front of you, you have Mr. Ravello's report. Over, if you have any questions, you can contact Mr. Ravello. Any concerns or comments?
Mr. Bentley, we are free to come to the job fair tomorrow.
Absolutely. I was just going to point that out. One of the highlights is our job fair that's done in conjunction with area businesses, put on and organized by our co-op coordinator. Should be quite successful. If you can make it 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., please be here. We'll be in the school's gymnasium.
Thank you. Next, superintendent report.
I only have a formatted, for you tonight. We want to bring you up to speed on the application and admission report. And it is, that.
Make sure you don't miss it, there's a travel request within the hours, right?
I do want to point out that as we sit here today, we have 710 applications that have been submitted. Freshmen coming in, 385 freshmen. I just gave away my punchline because we actually have 388 who are there. There is going to be an admissions and application subcommittee meeting that she has requested in June in order to review the procedures of this year and to look ahead as to things that may be happening by legislative approval that's going to be happening. Thank you for those who have contacted me. So that is there. Again, my comment is that Diman is still the most sought after school for the communities, without a doubt. Next is our.
Before we go any further,
Oh, sure.
on the admissions, there's, you know, they select like 34 from system for this last 2 years. From Somerset, for example. Are we entitled to like how the grades, how they, the points for every student, is that made accessible to the school committee?
You're asking what their
Like if you have Jane Doe, what was her score and what was?
of the students who are admitted to,
All
accepted
the
to
students,
Diman.
even the ones not
What is their point total?
Yeah.
Is the school, are you requesting that?
Yeah,
That has not been done in the past.
Is that a violation? It was done last year.
It was done last
It
year.
was done.
I might have been a little slow on the uptake last year, just trying to get my feet wet at the time.
I want to say not all were done, but I think in some cases you had a range, like the high of this, say Westport. The high score was 300, the low score was
Is that what,
280.
Mr. DiBiase, is that what you're asking
Correct.
for? If you get the range?
Correct.
The range, you get the range. That's been done in the past. I thought you meant like every single.
No.
No, I think last year we did receive an update on certain individuals that were.
Yes, sir. Do you want the range? Is that what you're
The
asking
range.
for? We'll do that.
You're not asking for the individual, just saying.
Correct, just a range.
Let's say 1 out of 100, the range was 82 to 100 got in,
Right.
if that was their score.
Right.
Okay,
And I think.
because we can't ask for individuals.
No, we
because-
cannot.
right.
No.
But I think that
No,
I
the
understand,
range.
I understand the question if, in Somerset, what was the range on the students who were accepted?
Yeah.
It was
The high end.
high of 750 and the low of 620. But in Westport, it was this, and in Swansea and Fall.
Correct.
Gotcha. I would ask you for that, put it in an email, and I can email it to the school committee. Right, that way you'll have that information, the range of scores by community.
So the other, I'm staying on that. Sure. We're at, we were accepting 390 this year. aren't
385.
we?
We were 365, we bumped it to 375. I had asked that the school committee could go to 385.
That's right.
Right.
And did we decide those additional 10, how do we allocate? percentage?
Yeah, we.
Okay,
4222.
Right,
This
cheers.
is how it would be done. And that would be the breakup. And then we're actually above that right now, so we are above 385 students.
At 390.
Yeah, we're closer to 390 than we are.
Yeah, but that would always drop, so we know that,
It-
come September.
It may,
Yeah.
let's put it that way. I smile.
390 got accepted of the 463 that went out.
Yes. And of course, as we know, as it gets closer, as Mr. DiBiase said, students change their mind, friends have an influence. But it hasn't happened just yet.
How did did you meet with them already? Response was very good. Did you have
And with
with all the students,
the new students coming in.
don't you have like an exam day or something like that?
Oh, they have already taken their placement
Placement
test
test,
of where they're gonna fall academically, where they're properly placed in their academic classes. That took place during April vacation.
And the majority showed up.
Majority showed up. They had to chase a few down. There will be a makeup placement exam that's coming up. But that's not till June. Mr. Jeff.
Something's coming to me right now, because we originally went 365, right?
Correct.
The 385, that's 20.
Yes.
Did we split up the 20
Yes.
by communities, right?
Yes, we did 375 first.
844.
Because
You
you
said
said, right, we did 375 is 4222. And then we said, what if we do another 10? That'll also go 4222. So it was 8444.
All right. Yeah, now, because when you said,
4222.
yeah, I'm like,
Wait a
oh
minute.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
10.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Math is hard.
So we haven't heard back from everyone that got a letter.
We have heard back, not everybody has completed everything that needs to be done. Okay,
So the
this is
463
gonna be
letters that went out, 390 have accepted and 73 have declined. If we have heard back,
We have heard back, we're still chasing people down, okay, who have not completed work, as far as paperwork, or they have not done the exam placement. Exam. They haven't done.
they've accepted their, okay.
One more.
Sure. And you can ask as many as you want.
This is as I'm going, because I'm looking at Westport, I'm at 22. I should be at either 23 or 24,
You're at 18 normally, right?
19 to 20.
I'm just trying to look at my numbers and typically, for the town of Swansea, I have 34 to 35. So you got and I got an extra 4, why do I only have?
Well, that's what I'm saying, if I get an extra
37.
four,
I'm sorry.
it could have been
I
higher.
think you guys, you're negative because usually it's Swansea, for example, I believe is like 26 to 28. That we extended to by 2 to 4. That's how they're coming up with 36. But it's usually 28.
If I look at the last, if I look at the last,
percentage.
the last
You go
few
to the
years.
percentage.
But the last few years, it's been 34, 35.
yeah,
And you're gonna call it down to question, I will get that answer for you tomorrow morning.
In the same boat. So I don't see any extra from what I've had in the past.
Let me ask that question. And I will answer it for the town of Westport.
exactly.
And you
Last
want-
year you were 23.
Mr. Bacon,
Right,
do
and
you
I
want
should
that
have more
meanwhile
because now we're
also as
going,
we-
you have
Well,
4
you
more,
have
380.
Do you want? that?
Exactly, on
Right
top
now,
of
it
last
should be
year.
36, are you?
You should be at, yeah, you should be at 24, 25.
The number is the actual.
And I'm only at
Yeah, I
22.
want to know what the actual number is.
Swansea. Let me verify each of the actual numbers that will be presented in tonight.
I'm just curious, because if we added extras, why
Why
are
are
they
they
same,
not there?
at the same numbers that I was at previous years?
Yeah, if you look at the list compared to last year, Fall River's up 11.
Westport's the same. Oh,
Westport's down one.
Down one.
Swansea's up 2.
I don't want to answer for
Somerset's
for the guidance, but I know that they overestimate. They do send out the initial letters and anticipating some might not come, and sometimes they all come, and sometimes people do drop. So I believe that's going to probably be.
Your, Mr. Bacon, your actual is 37 have been accepted right now from Swansea.
Right.
Your question is you.
36, 7, except 37, and some.
36 from Somerset, 37 from Swansea.
No, the other.
I'm
Swansea's 36, Somerset's 36.
Right, so
20 is
36.
what you gave us, we have in front of us.
Right, I'm looking at the, how many accepted on the back of that paper, for the 390 total that you need, for the numbers going across.
Yeah.
I see Swansea has 37 accepted.
No,
It's opposite from what you have in the front though.
It's opposite.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
opposite.
So you're,
If you look in that section in
I would-
gray,
yes, I would trust the numbers on the back, but I will verify that. Okay,
It's
yes,
just
there is a
curious.
conflict.
Because I'm at 36. Last year was 34, and 2 years ago was 35. So that's not a big change.
So you should have 2 more, right?
I should have 2 more.
How many?
Let me verify the numbers for the back of the front.
I think what you're gonna find, Jeff, is if you look at like the top, where it says how many went out. So, for example, the school year, 49 went out, and 36 said yes. Someone said 47 went out, and 37.
29, like say, for example, in Westport went out. But only
22.
have said something with regards to that.
Right.
So are we sending more out? I think that's the question.
Sure, you're
To get our
asking,
quota,
yeah,
because
are we getting our quota?
if we're already at our, are they saying we're already at the acceptance rate, or are we getting more? 'Cause if
I'll ask that
Or
question.
add our number, then.
I do not want to answer off the top of my head.
It didn't work the way we wanted.
So just that the numbers are not coming out.
Yeah,
Three
it's not what we
seventy-five,
discussed.
based on 375, Westport get how many? Normally,
It's,
19?
So that should be 21, 22, because they're two extra.
Well, no,
365
actually,
is when you start at. 365, you usually get like 18 or
365
19.
is like 18 or 19.
19
Yeah.
or 20.
So if you get two more,
It's
you
it's
should have
5.3.
between 21 and
So
22.
if you go 365,
And then
5.3, that's
So
a
two more. Again, so the next two, you should be between 22 and 23.
On how many
No, we
kids?
went
375?
365.
Sometimes three,
Stop, he's gonna fix it. He's gonna get you the numbers.
Wasn't it?
I just want to make sure it was done the way we discussed it.
Correct, yeah, it does look that way.
No, it doesn't appear that way. To me, by numbers, it doesn't appear that way.
I'm tweaking.
That's what he's gonna pay.
So by,
I know what happened. Paul, you know what happened? They sent out 490 or whatever people accepted, and when it came back, more forward people said yes when they got to 390.
Right.
So they stopped.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't like my
That's
quota.
not
I
the
know
way
you
it
don't.
should be. That's not the way it should be.
I didn't say you got your quota, it's not working right, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because now they're at 390 acceptances because you got 11 over and 4 rivers.
It shows you right at the top, 388, 49, 47, 29. So actually more requests went out, acceptances went out for Swansea than Somerset, even though Somerset's at 11%, and Swansea at 9%. So. Westport.
so
But you're right, that's probably the way it
It
happened.
is slow, it is
Right,
slow.
that's the way it happened. 20,
But we're accepted.
You are.
And I'm actually less than my kids.
Nine even.
It's 8.9%.
That's what happened. They sent out letters and 4 of them got more, now they're at 390, so they stopped 75.
8.4.
And you didn't get your quota, it didn't work.
Somerset's
No, it don't work that way.
That's what, that's the way it's supposed to happen.
Summer, and Fall River is 76.
It's 76.5.
So what are those actual numbers? If, based on 375 kids, how many students is that?
The simple way to do it is take 370, let's go 385,
Okay,
because that's the number, the target.
You shouldn't do that, you can't do that, you gotta go, quota's only based on 365.
Let's go 365,
Right.
That's your quote.
and you would do 76.5% of that number be from Florida.
Right, hang on.
that's what,
So you have 279.
279?
Okay,
So you should add 8 to you, father, so you're, at the end of the day, you should have 287 kids.
All right, so Swansea, what is the percentage of Swansea?
Swansea is 8.4%.
And what's 8.4% of 265, 365?
Probably don't want to do that.
30.66, so 30.
Yeah. So I'm saying, you're above your average.
31 plus 4.
You're above your average.
Should be 35.
So that's what I'm saying, if you look at what the top is, it's explained right there, and they accepted more than what your percentages are. And then the second line is who accepted it, and they're at their max.
365, Westport, how many?
And they're with their max, with who
kids.
So
accepted.
it'd be 5.3%.
19.375 or something.
So
Was
19
it-
plus 4, you should be 23. And Somerset is how many
But-
kids normally?
But here's the thing.
9.8%.
Right, and I,
How many
see,
kids is that?
Into 365,
35, 36.
36, go with
we're right
36,
on cue.
and you are 36.
So the thing is, it's self-explanatory, if you look here, what was sent out and who accepted. So when she got the final acceptances, she was at the 390, so she really couldn't go back and say, okay, geez, this one's down, I'm gonna accept 1 and 2
So
more.
Diane-
Because if he does, now you're at 392.
I know.
So what it should be is, for example, if we're at the 390 and 2 kids or 5 kids don't come, then they should go back to like Westport, for
Yes.
example, and they should be the next ones to get several
Yeah.
students.
Right.
So, but you can't accept more Westport right now if you're already at 390.
But I'm
So
not
this
at
is-
my quota.
This is where the problem is that they accepted, which I agree, Lois, we went through this a couple of years ago. She knows there's gonna be declines, and I think she anticipated more declines in this column, and she ended up with more. And they, like even Jeff, you're more than, he accepted 49, and 37 said yes, so you're above your average.
Problem is now, is Paul won't get his quota, even if 5 people from 4 of them drop out.
And
Yeah, you will.
Swansea.
Okay, well, because. No, 5 people drop out, you're only down to 385, can't take no more kids. Oh, 385, right. So 5 kids. We all know one. No, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but that's what it is. So the salary. Like 7 kids gotta drop out from 4 for you to get 2.
But it shouldn't work that way. So all right, so we can agree there's a default in the matrix.
Yeah.
So moving onward, you have to, all these, if you have 4 components, if A plus B, if in theory, 0.76A plus 0.84B plus 0.98C plus 0.53D all equals 100%. Agree? Which equals 365. You can't move on to subcommittee A until all of those have been filled. That's the matrix you have to change.
So.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So.
You can't add anything to A until all of the other.
Do it. Not gonna be able to do it unless you individually accept you.
But hypothetically, if all 29 had said yes to Westport, they've been way above.
That's why you can't do it unless you do it.
They had
At
75.
the very end of it, the only way you can meet the
Based on
quota at the
her-
very end of it is if you do it 1 by 1.
Yeah, and you can't, because then you'd be doing this until next.
That's the only way you can
You
ensure.
know what I mean?
When I'm only dealing with 20 kids,
Correct.
What it is.
Yeah.
Correct, but there was the 7 that dropped that threw your number.
So the question is
So
she?
But then-
Too
but you
many
can't-
acceptance letters at 463. Should we send out a smaller number in round 1?
We've done that.
It's not
That was Lois, that was
probably around 2. Round 1, you never hit your quota. We always send out a second round.
Correct.
We got
Second round
the,
have all gone already?
Yes.
yeah, that's what it is. That's why that's what it is.
And she's probably including in this formula the first and second round. So, because it says as a 510, so that would be the second round that we sent out with the additional numbers. So she might have originally only had, 22 from some place.
I think the guidance department's gonna have to pay a little just more attention as to the actual quotas we get. So it'll not be easy, but we'll have to.
What would Westport have done if all 7 of these who didn't come had said, yes, I'll be at 29, way
They'd be
above the
cheering.
quota.
kids, those
The
kids.
kid
would
be cheering in their treasury.
Then maybe round 2 needs to go out to the town first.
Yes.
That's
Maybe round 2 needs to go out to the town
that's
first.
the answer there.
What's that?
What was that again, Jim?
Maybe the acceptance for round 2 needs to go to the towns before Fall River, just because of percentage. It is a small, we're not asking someone to call 350 kids. If you're talking about calling 20 or 30, that is doable.
Right.
Just so that you be more, because I mean, right now, you're never gonna get to your quota.
Right.
Let alone the 4 extra.
So for our June subcommittee, that's gonna be, because it's gonna be an application to the admission subcommittee. That's part 1. It's gonna be, Mrs. Miller obviously will be there. Okay, I think the full committee would want, because you all have questions, okay, eager to be present for the June full school committee. Okay, as you will still all have continuing questions, as we know that the end of the school year doesn't end the acceptance process. Okay, but I think we want to clear it away.
But even before then, Brian, you may want to tell her that as people come out now, like if the 4 other people drop out, you gotta make sure she goes and looks at the towns first. She doesn't just go call another 4 other person.
Okay, and I know that has been probably what's been going on, that as Fall River drops, they go to the next Fall River person.
And that's
So
what I'm saying, but it can't be happening right now. It's gotta go to Westport or Swansea, whoever's not getting their quota.
Westport would be.
And
Is
I'm
Fall River- is
sure,
Fall River okay with that?
They have to be.
we're over our quota already.
So you're good with that. So we're going to go that anybody from Fall River drops, we're looking at,
Well, she should fill the
Somerset,
quotas
Swansea,
first,
Westport.
right?
Right.
She should fill quotas.
Westport would be first up.
But I think also to assure her that we understand this is not an exact science. You're sending out,
Yes.
you're estimating based on
And
past data. I don't want
And
to
she,
take criticism.
and she explained that to us 3 years ago. And I agree with her, but we ended up doing it that way. And she was so far behind that she had to keep playing catch up to get the numbers up.
And once you don't accept someone, they start looking somewhere else, and then we understand that that's necessary.
But I just want to be clear, and I'm good with this, is that, and I understand exactly everything you're saying. So Fall River now, if we drop anybody there, our first priority would be the town, and in order, our first town would be Westport.
Well, I think they seem to be the lowest
Westport
behind
and
quota.
Swansea, I think Swansea.
No, I think Swansea's.
No, I'm good. I should be good. I should be good.
He'll take more if he can get.
Yeah, I'll take them. But Westport
He's
needs
got
to
kids
come
growing.
on.
I think, Brian, it's a simple thing. As far as what drops out, they're over quota. So she should just determine that everybody else has made their quota before she calls back any Fall River people. That should be it.
So it should be Westport, Swansea, then Somerset. in that
Yes,
order?
that's what I have them ranked at 1, 2, 3, exactly. like
But actually, in
Westport,
reality,
Swansea,
if
Somerset.
you're
Yeah.
looking at if you're looking at the numbers, it actually should be Westport, Somerset, and Swansea. Because,
That's exactly
we're below Swansea. Swansea is a higher quota above, they're higher above, because we get 11%, they get 8%. Whatever. Yep.
It would be Westport, then Somerset, then Swansea. Is that correct?
Yeah, it absolutely.
Yeah, because Swansea is actually, you already had,
Okay.
They're
you're
good.
there. Okay.
Swansea's good right now.
If you look at the percentage, I'm okay.
Correct.
We'll do that tomorrow. Thank you.
We're not there yet. You do have-
No, because
Oh, okay, I'm just wondering,
We're
because you have one thing in travel, right?
That was good information.
I think Brian did it on his superintendent's report.
Oh,
I'm sorry. He's on number 2. OBS, let's go. The OBS is tomorrow. You're all invited to attend. It's a White at Westport.
What time?
At 6 p.m. is the program start. You're welcome to come before and socialize if you like to, starting at 5 o'clock. Yeah, you're welcome. And it's going to be a full-blown buffet. It's going to be very, very entertaining.
The program starts at 6.
Program starts at 6.
Cocktail hours at 5.
Okay, the cocktail hours at 5.
The Holy Day Mass at 5 o'clock.
might have to cut that one short.
What time did you get over?
No sermon.
Well, I need to be there for 6, so we're gonna move it quick.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
Third
I might even go.
third item is the cooperative, you're gonna get me laughing, we're never gonna go through this. Cooperative education report came in, we're very strong right now. We have 241 students actively employed throughout the co-op program, and they range in pay from $15 up to $23.62 an hour. But it's there, we are, something that is in your packet is, we've been approached by Health First on a kind of a new initiative, and I have been pursuing this with Andrew and a lot of other people involved in this. Health First here in the city of Florida has come forward was to ask us to establish a school-based health clinic. Not knowing anything about it, I invited them in for a conversation. They came in with a full-blown team. This is doctors, dentists, nurse practitioners, and they came in and they put on a very dynamic presentation, of which you have that in your packet. They will provide, so I'm going to provide a space, and this is only for Diamond students. This is not outsiders. This is not costing us anything. It's just a spot, and we have identified a spot in the building that it could be utilized. It's actually the trainer's room, the current trainer's room, as it does have an exam table there. It has a sink. It has a phone in case it has to be done. But this would answer some of our situations for students who need SWAT physicals. It would be done right here on site, and they can do that for us, again, free. It's also referrals from the nurse's office. We do have a situation with many of the students who come here, they don't have medical insurance. When they're told, go see a doctor, they say yes because they're pleasant individuals. They don't have a doctor. Their doctor is the emergency room. Like, they can go see the nurse practitioner who will be here, again, no charge. If they have insurance, insurance would be billed, just like a doctor's.
How many students don't have insurance in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts? You're 18, under 18. You have, unless they're
These
illegal.
are parents, they don't
apply. They don't apply.
They don't have them. It's kind of it's a tough situation. You know, they.
So then maybe Health First can also offer
it's mass
means
health.
and vehicles to navigate these kids to get mass health or
Absolutely. When they came in, we just met with them a second time. And I have signed a letter of, I don't want to call it a memorandum of understanding, but it was a letter indicating that we're interested to pursue it further. They have to be cleared by the Department of Public Health, because they just can't automatically do this. They would have to declare as a site. There are 7 schools in the state of Massachusetts that have this up and running. Blackstone Valley has one in Upton, Madison Park has one in downtown Boston. They also offer mental health services and referrals.
That's a question. Is this a grant that they have?
They have, yes, through the state of Massachusetts, they were given $2 million is spent over a series of years. And their goal on this was to establish these school-based health clinics, as they're calling them, throughout the state of Massachusetts. Not everybody wants them. We're easy because we're a self-contained school district. It is not open to the public, so it's not like a walk-in clinic. It is strictly for our students. I'd like to continue pursuing it as it's the price is right, and they seem to be very engaged with us right now. So our first step is to continue to work on this engagement, have them in the spot. We're going to have a presentation to the faculty, letting them know what's going on. We're going to have sending home the committee, when the agreement is signed, to send home information to parents, letting them know this is available, and they can refer students to the nurse practitioner, who can also prescribe if that need be. So it's an interesting avenue. They are very, very happy to be with Diamond. On a plus side of it, the dentist who's involved in that, because we will not be offering dental services, but referrals. The dentist office hires almost exclusively Diamond students out of our dental program, which is here, which is very nice to hear too. So, but that's the newest thing that I've been working on. So we're gonna pursue it and see where it goes. It's actually a full board.
How often they gonna be?
They can be here as often as we'd like them. They can be here every single day, or they can establish them on
Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Calendar of events.
Calendar of events is for you, month of May and June are packed with fun-filled activities. We have, as you know, OBS coming up, tonight's NHS going on. As we look ahead, we're going to have some activities for the students, seniors, and the juniors and the sophomores as they go on their class trips. June, very important month. June 8th, I want to point out on your calendars, is graduation. I would invite the entire school committee that if you can be here. I know Father Jay, you've already said to me that you're unable to because of your own personal graduation that's going on with your school. Is that correct? But I invite all the other members of the committee to please be here. Yes, it is going to be at Jersey High School, as when these plans were made for graduation, our field was told to us that it would not be available. So it's going to be there. I have gone over this past week with Andrew Ravello, Glenda Meades, and Miles, to Ben Allen, to look at the facilities over there, which are magnificent. We have an agreement with the city of Fall River. It's going to cost us less money all the way around, but more information will come in for the committee with all the exact stuff. It is a 6 o'clock start for graduation. Your arrival time will be approximately 5:15. There is going to be VIP parking available. We provide you with a plaque so you can get through the security that's there and park fairly close. There's also shuttles available for whatever, depending on where people park. It would be shuttles from parking lot down to the graduation field, along with golf cart to bring them there. So plans are underway. The only thing I would have to know is that if the school committee is going to show up and it could constitute a quorum, that we would need to know that we'd have to take care of that right, Elena, as opposed to not be in violation of the open meeting law.
I will be there.
So if you can, I'll send out a.
I'm gonna try it. Let me see my schedule.
We'll send out.
I'd like to be there.
Yeah, everybody can park in my lot.
Yeah, you're right there.
Hey, why not?
All right.
Yeah.
Elena will send out an invite in or reminder to everyone, and please let them know your availability. Would really appreciate being there. I think the kids would appreciate being there too. And that is June. End of the school year is June 20th.
And the next school committee meeting is June 5th.
There is, in your packet though, I do believe there's an addendum, that was in, I can take that up right now.
Travel request.
And that is a travel request. Skills USA issued here tonight, I'm sorry, wrong, that's the wrong thing. Our office technology program has been notified that there are as Massachusetts champions due to the technology program that they have, and they competed, they competed in a con, they competed on their certification. Because of the score that they achieved, they've been invited to compete in, everything's in Orlando, Florida. Nothing's in like, so it's in Orlando, Florida, from June 26th to the 28th, probably the 29th because of the travel day. There are 3 students involved with 1 advisor, Andrea Case. We We met with them this morning to go over things. They're on a tight timeline. Students have to accept this first and then make arrangements in order to go down there. We need, and so the recommendation is to approve the student travel request as presented.
Your motion, need a second, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much. We'd be pleased to get that.
All right, any correspondence, meeting, the upcoming school year? Next meeting to be determined, but it's June 15th, I believe.
Yes, that works for everyone.
Yes, we do, Mr. Chairman, we do pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Paragraph 2, conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiation with non-union personnel, conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiation with union personnel, review our individual contracts, which are Bob Bailey, Eric Benoit, Craig Brogan, Steve Cunha, Jordan Freitas, Karen Glover, Mary Elizabeth Perry, Crystal Santos, Opie Sylvia, Patricia Tolan, and Rebecca Ward. Secondarily, we have need to go executive session pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, 21, Paragraph 2, discuss strategy session with respect to collective bargaining or litigation. A detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body, the chair so declares, which we do. Teachers Association MOA, prospective MOA regarding extracurricular positions.
Need a motion to go to executive session, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call?
Mr. Jennings,
Yes.
Mr. DiBiase,
Yes.
Mr. Beegan,
Yes.
Ms. Menard,
Yes.
Father J,
Yes.
Dr. Nair.
Yes.
Yes, we will be coming out and likely there will be a vote in association with the executive session.
Back in open session.
And you're
I'll
going
make
to
a roll
take
call.
Mr. Jennings,
Here.
Mr. DiBiase,
Yeah.
Mr. Beegan,
Here.
Dr. Nair,
Yes.
Father J,
Yes.
Ms. Menard.
I'm going to take up 3.0 L. It's the DTA MOA extracurricular positions, and you're going to approve that MOA as negotiated.
Need a motion on that? Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.